Now, it is Derek, right? Okay. I mean, we are very, very sorry.
Honestly, it's not too bad.
We were going to kill you once you'd found the last piece of the key anyway. But now, I get to really enjoy it.
But we haven't found the last piece of the key.
Is that right? How do you think it is we found you?
You were following us?
No one was following you. To catch you, all we needed was the right bait. My lord, would you be so kind as to bring her in?
Get your hands off me!
I believe you have met before.
Okay, and welcome back. We're going to finish up with Sunday.
Yeah. Sunday
Fun Day.
Yeah, 2019 E4.
Yeah, we...
The last day of LARP for the year.
Oh, don't put it like that.
But going into this, we'd had such an interesting time on Saturday, and then to prepare for the battle on
but I was
Sunday.
hanging when I woke up on Sunday.
Yeah.
Like, I was drunk a lot the night before. We hadn't slept much. And I was like, it's virtuous to go monstering, basically.
Yeah.
So you got to get your stuff together and get going, you know?
Exactly. But the other really cool thing, we spoke about this before, like monstering gives you the chances to try different things. So we went like Ambi. In fact, you went Sword and Shield, didn't you?
I went the small buckler shield that you've got.
Yeah.
Not a full giant kite shield or anything. It's just a little diddy thing.
Yeah.
But, what did you go for?
I went for Ambi with 2 swords.
Yeah, I should have got Ambi.
And then we headed off. So we're playing as Jotun. We're
the honourable lot.
Yeah, basically the honourable.
And the
orcs.
idea is that the Empire are in control of a fort.
Yeah, and we have to basically kick them out of it.
We come out of the wooded area straight into what is like palisades.
Yeah,
Empire defending them.
And the other really important thing about this was when you go through, you get put in your block. So we're all from War.
Yeah, so whenever you show up for monstering, you get assigned to your nation.
Yeah, and then from that we got divided into groups of 60, and then we were going to be assigned military commanders.
Yeah.
And for context, last event we had a military commander as Orcs who was basically
General Longtongue.
Admiral. So Field Marshal Longtongue.
Yeah.
And basically we're like, we were all saying it was not going to be that good again.
No, we're always like, whenever we get that commander, we're always like ecstatic about it.
Yeah.
However, the odds on getting him twice in a row, what are the odds on that?
Yeah.
Turns out, we got him again.
Yeah, and it was amazing. And then there were people who recognised him and started shouting out for Long Tongue and doing the lickers
and there was like a core lickers
yeah.
contingent within the group who honoured the commander.
He was fantastic in getting this general. So this time we were the Iron Wolves, and we had like a howl.
The Iron Wolves, so we were howling when we attacked. That was really good. Again, like really simple. No, like the lickers was a bit like yeah. The Iron Wolves, same concept, works exactly the same way, had the same effect. Not the same effect, obviously, but it was still a really good time.
Actually having the howl and having like the whole lickers thing the previous time, actually having like a rallying cry.
It's a group mentality
It brings people together, and also it means that if you can hear it, right, so you can... In Orc Master, it's difficult to identify people. Yeah. So actually having audio cues like
everyone
that is
howling
very useful.
Makes you want to do it. And also it gives it a really good... you can communicate through the group sounds and
a howl is an attack, right?
Yeah, but the nature of the howl, like you go and doing these long drawn out ones, and then you like draw them shorter or add a growl.
Yeah. And basically we moved on Imperial forces.
We were so there was no flanking the fort. It was a straight line fight, basically. We weren't allowed to go into the woods, go round it. We had to go straight at it.
Yeah.
And we were on like the far left flank, right, of the fort. And there was a mix between mostly Wintermark and some Brass Coast that we fought in that fight. I think the
first time we went in, because this happened a bunch of times, we did these kind of runs on the left flank.
Charges.
Where the idea was to basically hit our side of the fort / palisade wall section and basically break all the way through to the opposite side and basically threaten them from there. Which is like a pretty bonkers thing to do. But like
extremely,
if you can pull it off, it's like dynamic and it shifts the battlefield a lot.
I think it worked really well at the start.
Yeah,
but then very quickly the battle turned into two lines.
Yes,
directly facing each other. We still did charges into them, and that was really good. One thing there was a few really key players in the Wintermark line that were really impressive, right?
Yeah.
Like I remember there was one big guy who dropped his weapon, and lost his weapon, and he went, "Could I get my weapon back?"
Yeah,
and we were like, "All right." And I think we let him through to go and get his weapon, then he went back to his lines again.
Yeah,
and then he also threw back some Yokeston forces. There was a whole honour thing about throwing back people's wounded.
It was very interesting because, like, I ended up just doing these kind of suicide runs. So I'd go up to like Iron Wolf, our leader, and I'd be like, you know, send me and I'm up for a death charge, which is something you can do quite well as an ambi. You can basically just go in, wreak a bit of havoc, and get killed
massively.
So I just remember just a bunch of times doing these crazy charges into their wall. They'd kill me, but I'd make a little salient that would let us push them back a little way.
Yeah.
And then they chuck me back, and I get healed up and then sent out again. It was really.
I remember being really conscious of counting my hit points.
Yeah,
I think I went to the medics twice, but it was like it was a really good fight, and I think we had a really good time, like with the line that we had, especially with the nature of the fight that we're doing.
Yeah, I only got respawned once, but I got downed a whole bunch and basically killed by physics and other things.
Oh, the big guy that came through our lines.
Yeah,
we basically pushed through at one stage.
Yeah,
like at a few stages actually.
Yeah,
we
it happened 3 times.
A couple of really good charges, but he got downed.
Yeah,
and I was getting him, and I just walked over there and went, "Get out of my way, get out of my way." And I went, "All right, come on, big fella." I got him up, and I went, "Today's not your day." You know what I mean? Like, you fought bravely. Get the hell out of here. And I couldn't get him through back our line to get him straight back to his forces. So I walked him round through a whole bunch of them, just yelling, "Make way! Make way!"
That's awesome.
Pushing people out of the way, even to get to the point. And this guy must have been like he's so deep at this point. Like, I walk him back deep into our lines, and then walking back in. I'm like, wait, get through to the line. I'm like mob handing people, like pushing them, and like we're not pushing, put my hand on them, looking like, get out of the way, make way. I actually get this guy, I actually shove him across the lines.
That's
to the other
cool.
side. And it was like, that was cool, and he well deserved it. Yeah, definitely deserved the honour.
Yeah, and I think like there were a couple of moments like that, and it made for a really interesting and slightly weird fight.
Less lethal than it could have been.
Yeah,
but like on our side of the battlefield, at least it was a Anyway, so we buckle through.
Yeah,
we get pushed back.
Yeah.
We buckle through again. We do it twice again. And then the right flank seemed to have this huge victory.
Yeah.
And push through, and the whole Imperial line started to buckle and crumble.
Yeah.
And do all sorts of horrible things. They all got kind of pushed back.
Yeah.
And then we basically controlled the fort. I remember asking a ref, like, are we inside the fort right now or outside the fort? And he took a look and went, you're definitely inside the fort.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, so, oh my God, we've actually taken the fort.
Yeah.
Then we battled for a bit, right?
Yeah.
And then they started to
push us back out, right?
Yeah, there was definitely Brass Coast at that point.
Yeah.
Came in like fresh forces.
Yeah.
And just started hitting us with Wintermark.
Yeah.
And we got pushed back, and our salient was being pushed in with the very left-hand side flank of our forces. Yeah. And we're getting pushed in, and we're like, we've got. They keep pushing us, but we've got nothing to stop them with.
Yeah.
They're pushing as far as they want to go, right?
Yeah.
We pull all the way around back until we're like, basically, they have perfect access to completely wrap up the line.
Yeah.
That's when I look over Ian, and that's when I saw it. The fucking frost giant.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
the
this.
ice giant or the frost giant.
Yeah. We had like a.
It's a guy, and he's on stilts.
Yeah.
And it's this giant ice giant costume.
Yeah.
He's got a couple of like rests with him to kind of bodyguard him and make sure he's okay.
Yeah.
But he must be 12 foot tall.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And he's enormous.
In this huge suit. He's got these massive kind of arm pieces he's
holding
holding on to.
Giant arms, giant legs, like this big torso with like a man-sized head attached to the top of it.
Yeah. It looked awesome, by the way. The makeup and everything made it look amazing.
So cool. And we come back and I look up and I was just like, holy shit. Like, well. And the Imperial forces all line out. And we're all like talking and we're like, right, we'll advance. behind the ice giant.
Yeah.
So the ice giant starts like moving forward, and we're like keeping in line with it. And funnily enough, the Imperial forces that had fought so bravely to get to that point, they weren't too interested in fighting the ice giant, were they?
So we basically just followed the ice giant all the way to the opposite side, and they just pushed them out essentially.
They just left.
I don't blame them.
I don't blame them either.
No,
that thing was very intimidating.
Yeah, I would have wanted no part of that.
No, especially after that fight. Jesus. Again, I heard that the numbers were very skewed.
Yeah, and I think it's hard to really say with these battles. Like, because you're in such a small part of it, aren't you? That you don't really have always like a good perspective of everything.
Yeah. It was a well fought battle, and honestly, I know the barbarian forces won, but I think it was a lot close. It felt closer at times, especially on our flank.
They held the fort for a long time, and I don't know how long
we
they actually had to hold it.
We fought really hard on our side. They gave us everything.
And they kept redeploying fresh troops and trying all kinds of different things, and it was just a fantastic battle. Of just really,
we again had really good command with General Longears or whatever his name
I can't remember what we called him now. But yeah, I mean, he was fantastic. And like a bunch of times we just spoke with him. I shook his hand and was like, we had an awesome time.
We had a good chat afterwards. It was nice. Yeah,
it was really cool. He's just a great guy and really leads the military unit really well. Made our experience awesome.
Yeah, I heard that he didn't get on. He might have not got the best reviews from other nations.
Yeah.
But we love him. So
we love him. He's fantastic.
If he's always coming to Navarre, that's okay with us.
Yeah.
Right. So went back.
Yeah.
Standing.
Yeah, and just basically got the fill-in on everything that had been happening, all of the different political events. I learnt the night before that this whole exchange of basically Empire territory for peace with the Grendel was going to take place, and that vote, I think at the standing they either said it had happened or they were going to vote on it then. And yeah, basically we've given up territory to have a 2-year peace with the Grendel so we can focus on other fronts.
Yeah. People are giving up regions of the Empire.
I think is it Urizen and the League, or is it Urizen and Brass Coast? I can't remember. Brass Coast, yeah. It's Feroz actually, isn't it? Yeah. And
they're giving up their territory
so
to try and maintain
what we've got.
Yeah.
And hopefully this means that we can then concentrate forces on less foes, because at the moment the problem is the Empire's so spread militarily it's very difficult to actually gain ground on any front. So hopefully this will ease it up, although it's, as I say, like all of the in-game impacts of all of this and all the different people it affects and involves, it's, these are, as I say, this is like pretty big stuff for the Empire, right?
And also like the political realm,
all of that.
There's a lot going to happen to the Empire over the next year, right? It's an absolute send-up to what is going to happen to the Empire coming next.
We've got an opportunity, right? That's the thing. For the first time in a while, we've got like proper opportunities to actually push forward if we want, but we have to do it right and smart. And I think that challenge is going to be an interesting one for the Empire.
Yeah. But it's also like, imagine like, what if senators get assassinated?
Yeah.
Like, what happens in that world where law and order starts to break down?
Yeah.
Like, it's really interesting.
Yeah, and this is all keeping aside the fact that, like, the Empress is obviously missing, and the throne is available, and there'll be different parties pushing for it, and all of that. It was very interesting. So anyway, it was great to go through standing, and just the weird thing is once you finish the battle and you finish standing, Empire enters this kind of weird realm where you're kind of like, it's basically time out, kind of, although it's actually not. It's like an hour and a half left.
It's very hard to get a few last bits done, right?
Yeah, so I think at that point
we did the raffle. I bought some raffle tickets.
Yeah, and that's really cool.
Imperial raffle is basically where we're saving up money as a nation.
Yeah.
By having raffle tickets, which all the prizes are gifts from members of the Navarre.
And they're all like interesting crafting things.
Some of those prizes were ridiculous.
Like there's our friend Robert, who plays Caro, he'd made like this awesome axe, I think, that was like part of the prize
as well.
There was crazy stuff, like really awesome things that were all up for grabs.
Yeah, I want that, but I think you have to drop some serious coin.
Yeah, probably.
Who knows?
Could buy a lot of raffle tickets, but still, congratulations to whoever got them. It was fantastic.
Right, you suggested getting business done.
Yeah, so there was just a whole bunch of stuff at this point, I think, in the event where you just have to get stuff done, right?
Yeah, I had a few last million bits.
Brew some potions. You had to get your fleet
So I had to
upgraded or something.
I had to get like a ritual done, same one again, like something distant shores where basically it boosts my fleet. I don't know where I'm sending them yet.
Yeah. Are you going to send them to trade, do you reckon, or military?
Oh, they're definitely trading because I've been booned for that. But the question is, where does old Gellert want to go to?
Yeah.
What's he doing?
Yeah, interesting.
Where's he sailing to? Where's he sailing to?
I don't know. I guess it'd be interesting to see. Will you get a glimpse of the Winds of Fortune before you get to make that decision? Or is that done blind?
I think the Winds of Fortune and stuff get released a lot earlier than before. But I don't know when that happens or whether I can do it myself before. But I might just do it off...
Yeah, your gut, right?
I mean, it's going to be for RP.
Yeah.
It's definitely not going to be for...
Whatever the resources are.
Absolutely
that you get.
not. It'll be for what I think might be interesting in the world and where I want to be.
Yeah, I think that's something...
I may be unelectable, but I'd like to be very knowledgeable. Yeah. That's where I'd like to be. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Anyway, let's see. I mean, it's a long way. It's 6 months before the next event, right?
It's bonkers, dude.
Oh, okay. A couple of things I had to do. The ritual thing, and also I had to get my... did you source me armour for my
yes, I did.
Armour?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got like a thing that gives me 1 extra hit point, so I had to go and get a referee and...
Have that tied to you,
gave them my PID number and they told me the item and I attached it. So now I have 1 extra hit point, which is handy.
Yeah, and that was a really good deal. Just like one of our neighbours basically came round, had that to trade. The price was very reasonable. Yeah, I was perfectly happy to pay it. Yeah, and we had the mana and all things. Well, in fact, it's not mana, is it? I can't remember what it is to bind it. You just have to find a ref, right?
Yeah, it's to bind it to me. Yeah, is because I'm a magician. You have to be an artisan or a magician to do it. So I just did it to myself.
So that was awesome.
Yeah, I haven't really done much like with my personal mana. But it's I spent 2 personal mana, whatever, for the entire weekend. Yeah. That should be upped. Yeah. I'm kind of interested in maybe putting some of the skill points I have into some maybe more
offensive spells.
Aggressive.
Yeah.
Techniques.
Yeah. It's going to be great, man. And
I've got some. There's a lot of stuff to do with like where my character is and how I want to react. You know.
Yeah.
Like,
how do the events of this? So the things that happen in this event, how do they impact how you're going to play on?
How do I deal with this? How do I continue on? What's my feelings towards the whole process? Like, there's a lot of questions, and also there's a bigger political world than my own ambitions. Yeah, right. And I think it's very interesting to see like there needs to be a new emperor or empress. Yeah, right. There's a lot of regions being given up. The centres are changing seats. Yeah. There's a lot of politics going on around the world. I don't know. Let's
just see how it goes, right?
Yeah. Maybe I'll give up on all of that.
Yeah, and just
who knows?
Run into battle like a madman.
Who knows what I'll be able to
yourself killed.
Yeah, who knows? It's
everything's possible.
God,
right
it's
now.
so far away though.
It's so far.
All I get to do for the next 6 months is just sit here and stew on it. Maybe make some specials in the meantime, but generally it's going to be...
Yeah.
God.
I mean, it's been a great event, and I think it was just such a great way to end the year. And if, for example, at the end of the battle, they kind of do a whole thing, they thank you for monstering, and then they thank you for, I hope they enjoyed the whole year
like
thing.
The staff
it's nice to
really
clap at the staff.
Yeah, I feel like the staff really enjoyed us as players, which was a nice feeling, right?
And it was nice, man. And it's an opportunity just to sort of give all the people who work behind the scenes on the skirmish crew and stuff, and also this should be extended to everybody, right?
The toilet crew who are always merry, happy to chat, and nice people. It's
a lot of work that people do.
The man hours, the effort, the sleepless nights.
Yeah, all of this basically makes our game incredible, and all their efforts are amazing.
But we don't get to do it. There are some
player events and
things.
I'm tempted. It has to be the right player event. I don't think I could do a ball or just going to the pub or something.
I don't know. Wow, look at me. I'm interested in doing a non-combat event.
I'd be up for doing a non-combat thing, but I think I'd like it rather than say a ball or a pub visit or something like that. I think I'd be up for more of a meal or something. I think I'd be more up for like something with some RP possibilities, like solving puzzles or doing things, or you know what I mean, like going somewhere and just traveling around with people. Like, what's it like just to travel with semi-important people from outside Anvil? Yeah, that could be kind of cool. But yeah, it would have to be more than I think, just for me personally.
Hey, it's time to
stew on anyway. For sure.
If the stars align and it's the right time. Beyond that, this is probably a really late episode. I'm really sorry for releasing some so late, basically.
I mean, I think we wanted to take some time with this one as well, and you've got a few plans for the edits and stuff, so hopefully that'll all be fine.
Yeah, it should be. So we'll release this lot.
Yeah.
And then we'll have a recap of the story up until this point, and then some sort of finishing radio play vibe
for these for the intros and outros that we've kind of been stringing together.
We'll finish that all off.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Hopefully it'll be good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so much fun putting these together.
Yeah.
And think about when we started doing these, all the way back E1 last year, and we really just sort of did it for us, right? Like, just as almost like a time capsule of a crazy thing we've done in our lives.
Yeah.
And then just to take it to this point, and for the game means so much, right? And everything in it is so.
It's weird how invested I am.
Yeah.
And it's weird how emotional reactions make me realise how invested I actually am. You know?
And also how much of your thought process just throughout an average day it takes up, right? I often think about Empire just literally walking around, right, doing my job, all these kind of things, and thinking about it. So yeah, it's just such a huge thing.
I'll tell you what it is. It's a really nice challenge and there's also different ways you can challenge yourself at the game, right? So this whole politics thing, it's kind of become more at first I was mildly interested.
Yeah.
And then it's just now I want to score points on the board. I want to be able to play the game to actually.
Yeah, you want to win, right?
Yeah.
You want to get
but
those...
It's also imagine being able to change the world.
Yeah.
Imagine being able to change the world.
I think the really interesting thing is, though, in a way, you can do that in so many different ways, right?
Yeah.
And,
totally.
For example, if I'm dying, or if I died, for example, by no means the most world-shaking character, for example, but, it would probably affect a few people, right? And it would impact their game.
This is what I was talking about with the idea of there's the PD main official titles.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of game around that can be built and created and actually become part of that world.
Yeah.
By player action.
I mean, just consider the leadership structure that we have for our striding, which is an entire player-made thing. Mm-hmm. So we basically have one person who's in charge of political decisions, one person who's in charge of military decisions, and they basically sort of work out who takes control of what thing. That's the loose idea of it, and that's a fairly tame one. Think about in other people's player groups, they've got their own leadership structure with their own reasons and things for organising themselves, and all of these things are completely separate from PD.
It's the layers of the world.
Yeah.
Like I was saying before, when I was running around looking at talking to all the different senators, you end up in these whole different games from yours. Mm-hmm. I think Empire offers a great deal. I think one thing that I was always been concerned about is when we start getting into the game and we're getting into the game a bit deeper now, I was genuinely worried, is the game an ocean, but it's only a foot deep?
Yeah.
Right? Is the illusion of standing at the edge of the shore looking into Empire, is the game actually quite shallow? It just seems to be quite vast.
Yeah.
And I think just through the fact that there's loads of mechanics in the game that are based on human interaction, it's very hard to ever get to the point where you can outnumbers the people.
Yeah.
Or even if that's an approach, right? It's... if you want to wield power politically, there's a lot that you have to do, or just be there a long time and be nice to people for long enough, and eventually you'll get to the the right result. But there's a lot of different strategies.
Yeah.
To and that's just one aspect of the game, right?
Yeah, totally. And you can just take it in so many different ways and achieve so much, and through different methods as well.
Like, where are you? You don't have to say, but do you have a personal ambition right now?
Weirdly, because Talos had been like close to sort of giving up his position and losing that sort of power or whatever he acquired in the group, or this idea of leadership, that was going to be a moment for him to really then decide what he wanted to do with that. If, for example, he could keep his hands off, or like, and not want to get back into it after the fact, like, you know, someone who sort of leaves and then still wants to have a political say, or if I'd want to go down the route of he just goes and cuts loose and goes off on his own ambitions. Now that's not the case, which was not really what I expected coming out of the event, because I thought I would be giving up the position. I'm going to have to sit and think about what happens next.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there isn't like a now it's the time to think.
Yeah, and there's a lot to think about.
It's the perfect time to do it. Like, if you said to me I had an event in 6 weeks' time, like, I don't know if I'd be ready for that. There's got to be a rebuild and a rethink and a kind of realignment of what my character's objectives are at this stage. Yeah,
and I think increasingly, I guess in some ways it's going to become difficult to talk about certain things. I think we always kind of manage, hopefully, to toe the line where we're telling you enough of how it makes us feel and think.
I think that's going to we're going to have to learn about like what's acceptable, what isn't, like, and but for ourselves as well. Like, we like doing. We
really enjoy doing this.
We trust ourselves as well to make the right decision on talking about certain things. I kind of maybe want to do some things for Songs and Story.
Yeah, I just need to get some stuff done. I need to get some stuff done.
That's going to be fun to kind of think about. Maybe fuck around with. My neighbour's going to hate me. And also, I just want to say, the Orc Planet, I'm going to do, like, reading out Empire fanfic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Matt's going to read out Empire fanfic.
That's amazing.
I'm personally a big fan of that as a concept. So YouTube, the Orc Planet.
Yeah,
that's gonna be good.
That's super exciting. Because
time to get the fucking candles out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, that sounds really good fun.
I might even buy a bath bomb.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
No, that's gonna be great. That's gonna be really good fun. Yeah. Matt and the Orcs Planet, they do really good versions of the Songs of War and stuff when they do them as well, and loads of other really interesting stuff, and they're just cool people. Yeah,
there's a few like different like YouTube channels and different things like popping up around Empire. I still find it interesting how like where we're at with it. Like, I really feel like we do something. It's worthwhile that we do a podcast, and it's giving people enjoyment. But there's going to be a limit, and we may cross it at times. Yeah. And that's the thing that we're going to have to learn about IC, OC, kind of, and other people's games. You know? Yeah. Hey, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Yeah, we really enjoy doing these anyway.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. So.
Good luck on the long dark, everyone.
Yeah, good luck. We'll try and release more content of some description or another. We've got some ideas and stuff. Yeah. But we're suffering just as much as you at this stage.
It's hard times.
Let's all dig deep together and get through it and plot together for a better Empire.
Yeah, thanks to everybody for supporting on the Patreon and stuff as well.
Yeah,
all of you. Yeah, I mean, just everyone who listens, you're just awesome. Thank you. Right. Well. Strength to the Empire, I guess.
Oh, strength to Navarre. Bye.
You two again? Are you trying to get yourselves killed?
Men, surround them. If they move an inch from the table, you have my permission to kill each and every one of them. Now, Derek, would you take her, please?
Let me go.
Now, young miss. Keep that up, I might slip and you might lose one of those pretty eyes of yours.
You have all been such a disappointment to me. Giovanni, the last guardian of Anoch, outmatched and outmaneuvered at every turn. Such a letdown. To think I believed your reputation. Ha! And you two. I give you escape from the city, a ship, money, and my support. What do? Burn it all to ash. And you, Leah. I raised you as if you were my own daughter. I gave you a home, training, purpose, and means to avenge your family. All I get for my generosity is betrayal.
You are insane. You mean to murder millions.
Leah. Don't act so high and mighty. Your moral grandstanding is just a question of scale. You mean to kill thousands.
Is this true?
It's complicated.
Complicated? Ha! You've always managed to bring a smile to my face. Chasing you down was great sport. You are a credit to your training. Training that I gave you. Once Leah was back under my protection, we saw her with the talisman and that the final piece of the key was moving. It was clear that you had found it. Well done. And that your talisman was pointed right back at us. Granted, it was a gamble on my part, but I was very confident in your stupidity. And as always, I was proven to be correct. You came right into our little trap.
What have you done with Minnie?
Minnie and her employees are walking the labyrinth now. Little did she know, as she gave her last breath, that her sacrifice would change the world forever. But let us not dwell on such morbid things. Now, here, 1 piece, and now 2 pieces of the key. I have shown you mine. Now you should show me yours.
Fuck you.
I don't actually have any pieces of any case, so can I just go?
No, you stay. Why do you always insist on doing things the hard way? Derek, would you kindly start carving our beautiful young Leia, and do not stop until we have the key?
With pleasure, my lord.
Stop! Okay, Derek, you were right.
I was.
There is a problem with the food, and I would like to return it. Yeet!
Aha! I am Giovanni Bianchi di Sarvos. Lay down your weapons, or prepare to die.
What is courage without wisdom? You certainly have come a long way to die, Giovanni. Derek, you and the men deal with him.
Yes, my lord. Stick him, lads.
On guard!
Complete the key!
What?
Complete the key! It's the only way now!
Edith Harju did say you must accept that the key will be united, and the doors will be opened.
Hurry!
Okay, 1, 2, 3.